Okay,
I
we're
think
got the
we're
buttons
live.
all happening.
I think we're live. My iPad is about dead, but
Your iPad's
anyway.
dead.
Well, I watch on my iPad for comments, but it's about dead. It's, so welcome to art therapy for the masses.
There we go. I got mine muted. I'm sorry
Oh,
about
do
that.
you?
There's
Yeah,
no
I'm
way
gonna
to
do
mute it
the.
though before it starts.
Yeah, how things going, Ellis?
Pretty good. I had a good day today. Well, I mean, I've got a new discipline of instead of getting around to my walk at some point in the day, I start my day with the walk. I get out of here, get that
Oh yeah.
done, and it's out of the way. And
Yep, that's the way to do it.
that's the only way to live is to say, okay, this is an extraneous thing that cuts my day in half, distracts me, and I need to get it out of the way and get on to everything else. Flyfox Pro says hola, hola, hola.
Hola, Fly Fox Pro. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
So, can I make a pitch for my
sure.
YouTube site? I'm trying to, or my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get. Okay, so to get Fly Fox Pro up to speed, I am done with my comic. Heaven's Rejects is 100% done, or my part is. It is at the colorist, and so I want to start doing YouTube stuff, but I need to get more followers.
Well, yeah,
So
you
if
can't
you're
even monetize until you've got 1,000 people.
right, and I'm a long way from 1,000. You're closer than I am.
Well, I've got 100 and something. I've almost got 1,000 on my. Oh, I think I do have 1,000 on my weirdo site,
Oh yeah.
my Plastastic site. But
Thank you.
I've got so much pirated kind of content that there's no point in even thinking about monetization of that. It's
Well,
a
you ought
junk
to go
site.
in and you ought to go and clear that out, and then maybe monetize it.
Well,
Just
no,
let it.
no,
Just let it
I like that site as a big junk
dump.
pile of things that people really dig, but I've got no right to, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fair.
Hmm.
The so oh, and thank you, Fly Fox Pro. I cannot wait for you to be able to buy it. It's just called Scott Sackett. Yeah, I think so. Let me double check real quick. I think it's. I think if you look for. Let me look. Let me look.
Yeah, well, I'll add that to the links once you have got it all figured out.
Uh,
He's off. My dude.
yeah, it's Scott. It's Scott Sackett. It's got a picture. Oops. Let me view my. This is. I don't know if you can see this. This is my channel, and it is Scott Sackett. There's a space in there,
Hmm.
so yeah, it should be easy to find.
Should be
Um,
easy to find.
I
But
reviewed a
I'll
book.
put a link in.
I reviewed that book I talked about last week. I think it was last week. I talked about that Draw from Your Head book.
Uh huh.
And so I reviewed that. I want to do some more art stuff. Really what I'd like to do is do live streams. And you can't do live streams. Oops, there's my phone number on the on the
Call
YouTube
Scott
site.
now.
Yeah, call me. Hey, someone wants to call me,
Scott
be
is
my
waiting
guest.
for your call.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
that's okay. Anyway, so so before I'll cover this in case anybody gets any ideas. So I bought the sketchbook that I normally carry is one of these. It's a Strathmore 300,
Hmm.
and it's not. It's their pretty much their entry level. They have a student one, but this is 11 by 14, or yeah, it's 11 by 14. The art supply place around here was closing them out, and they were half off. And so I bought every one they had,
Oh
and
man.
this is too big to carry, but it's great to draw in. The paper is a little rough and a little soft. I prefer drawing on harder paper and smoother paper, but the thing is, I have this size, and then I found one that's 14 by 17. That's the exact same paper, And then the one I normally carry is a 9 by 12 and it's the sketchbook I've been drawing through. Anyway, I like it because you get a consistency of paper
Yeah,
across.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
so I'm
it
kind of
looks
in.
kind of like it would catch moisture or something and ripple on you. It looks like a very light
Yeah,
paper.
yeah. I wouldn't. It's only 50 pound,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
it's not
Okay. Yeah.
super
50
heavy. Yeah,
pound is that's just barely above typing paper, isn't it?
typing paper is usually like 25, I
Okay.
think. So yeah, it's about 25 because I bought some paper. I wanted to print something out on my printer here at the house,
Hmm.
and I couldn't. I didn't know what pound. I think I had 25 pound. I bought some 32 pound, and it felt so. I made a little booklet, and it felt so much thicker. Um, but so I'm just my free time. I'm just drawing.
Well, that's what you ought to be doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to draw a lot of figures. Um, you know. And then like I said, I got a bigger one of these sitting over there that I could pull out also. But this is big enough that I pretty much have to draw on a table, I think. You get too big and it's like, well, I need a board, or you can't draw
Yeah.
like just sitting on the couch, which is my criteria for sketchbook.
Yeah. You have to be able
And
to
then
do that.
I got this sketchbook. Where'd it go? Ah, dang it! I don't have. I have one of those Fabriano. It's not at hand here. Maybe downstairs. I have one of those Fabriano, like yours, the blue one,
Uh-huh.
that I have 16 pages left. And so my goal is to finish it out, and then I have a new one down under my desk. And on New Year's Eve or day or whatever, I'm going to start that up because that's got 400 pages. So I'm curious how long that will last me.
Hmm.
And I always like starting a new sketchbook. I was talking to uh, who was I talking? Somebody I know. I
Someone that was
well, I have a
patient
group of
enough to listen to me.
well, yeah, yeah, that's a lot of patience. No, I have a group of artists that I know that are younger, like high school age, or
Yeah.
maybe get just ready to go to college. And I know a couple of them I know from church, and one of them's like a friend of mine's kid. Anyway, and so they're always emailing me and asking me questions and stuff.
Well,
And
that
they
channel
were
will be great for you. I think you're made for this kind of stuff. You're a lot closer to Ethan Van Sciver than I am in terms of like
body
guy,
weight.
yeah, body weight and ability to probably talk about stuff that brings in a crowd of like minds. I'm more like a guy that is just. I'm more fascinated with just being able to do it. I don't know. I get on here and it's like, what was the point of you putting that video? I get that all the time. People ask me, why did you post that?
Well, but that's what
Goodson's mystery content.
yeah, well, that's what I'm cleaning off of my web page or my YouTube site. Some of that random stuff that no one ever
Yeah, yeah,
watches,
yeah, exactly.
just to make it so it's like when people watch, maybe they'll go, "Oh, this is good content."
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have time to watch it, but I'll bookmark it or I'll subscribe. But anyway, so people are always asking me. I say kids, but it's people that want to be artists
Yeah.
are always asking me different questions. And one of the things I was telling them is, man, you gotta get you a sketchbook. I was reading, I forget the drawing. I think it was experimental drawing by Robert Canapsis. I think that's how you say his last name. Anyway, in it, he said that you should get a sketchbook and write in there. I forget it was like a pledge, like, I promise I will always keep my sketchbook with me and I will try to draw on it every single day. But the problem I think a lot of people make that want to be artists is they go, well, okay, so I got this sketchbook, and maybe they get like a nice sketchbook, like one of those like
Yeah.
leather cover,
Yeah.
and then they're like, well, I'm not good enough to draw in
They
it.
don't want to violate it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so my thing is, in fact, I told somebody the other day, you shouldn't show anybody your sketchbook. And I picked that up from John Byrne because when he came to town one time, I asked him, do you keep a sketchbook? And he goes, well, He goes, yeah, I got this. I used to keep this sketchbook, and I called it my sketchbook that I wouldn't let anybody see.
Mm-hmm.
And his thing was he wouldn't show people at his sketchbook because he was like, I want to experiment in it,
Yeah.
and and it's like if you're going to do that, you can't do that with the idea of well, I'm going to draw these perfect drawings, which is
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
lot of people put in their sketchbook.
It's
You
what
know,
it would be like that guy that went viral for doing a bad piece of artwork in on Ms. Marvel or whatever she was
oh yeah,
recently, and it's like, hey, I bet that guy has done some better art, and I think you said something about that was never meant to be produced like that. That they,
oh yeah, I think it should. I think he drew it to be inked.
yeah,
They
yeah,
they screwed the guy.
uh-huh.
I think
So
it's
there,
Marvel.
there it is. It's like that's on the old resume now.
Yeah, I'm the
But
guy that drew Ms. Marvel with the pug nose.
so if you had a bad sketch in your sketchbook, which you should definitely allow yourself to do, bad sketching in your sketchbook.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you. FlyFox Pro is going to share my YouTube site. Thank you. I mean,
yeah, that's what you need.
yeah, that is what I need. I appreciate that.
Another guy that's a kind of a regular on here, his name's Tofler. He shared his what do you call it? Your pamphlet sized books. What do you call those when you garage? Not garage.
Ash cans.
Ash cans. Yeah, garage. I guess I was trying to say garbage. I guess because of ash can. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, he shared an ash can with me, and it was pretty cool. It made me think about that sort of thing, and of course, he's giving it away, and asking for tips on Gumroad. Which
Oh,
there
really?
he is. Yeah, Tofler's checked in, and it's a pretty groovy idea. I think that Gumroad is out there to make some big bucks on. If you really have something that appeals to
Yeah.
you, that'll get around. If you got something that people want on Gumroad,
Have I
it'll fly off the shelves.
have I given you one of these?
What?
Do you have
What?
this?
Oh, look at that! Yeah, yeah. You've had the experience. You should be talking to Tofler. He's
No, but
you've
did I
done
get?
you've done a big. I'm not sure if you have or not. I think I'd have it somewhere if you gave it to me.
Oh, I need to give you one of these. I've only made 15 of these. I
Well,
gave
so
them out.
that's the reason you didn't give it to me.
Well, I gave them out in San Diego or New York, and I found a few of them here at the house. But it's an ash can of the first issue of Heaven's Rejects.
I'll be doggone the whole first issue.
Yeah, so you haven't seen this? I'm
I
shocked.
probably have. I'm not
I'm shocked
sure.
I didn't give you one. Maybe I thought you would hate it.
No, I'm not. I don't. No, no, no. That
Yeah,
I'm.
I mean
I'm
we've
going to
got
look around
better.
and see if I've got it. But I don't
If you
think you
don't, I
gave
have
it to.
two here.
Oh no, no! Don't give me some. I did
No,
my
I mean I don't
usual
need them.
thing here. I found out you did 15 of them. I found out you had two of them, and I said, no, no, don't give me one.
Yeah, that's just you exactly. I
Yeah,
don't want one of those.
yeah,
No, I mean I did them to give out at New York Comic Con in 2018.
yeah.
So I mean they're all it's old news. I wouldn't use this as a sample now.
Mm-hmm. Fly Fox Pro says I better go ahead and use my talent here to get
Yep.
this on screen. The
Yep. Put
ash
that up
can
on the
I
screen.
the ash can I drew for the Otis Stein campaign should be coming soon for those who got the comic. Yeah, that's a little bit of an extra is to have your ash can that goes along with the campaign. I was talking to Tofler. He says he was saying he's the same as me in feeling like he's not the personality type to do what do you call it
Like a live stream kind of.
no the where you tell people the comic book is coming and they pay for it ahead of time. What's that called? Street
Shyster?
yeah, crowdfunding
Oh, crowdfunding.
and
Well,
and he's just going to go straight to things like Gumroad and things like
oh
Kindle,
yeah.
and that's the way for me. I got an email. These guys are, you support them, and then you forget all about them until they show up telling you why they haven't done the thing yet. And I don't press anybody on anything. It's like, hey, if I bought it and you never come across with it, I won't even notice. But
you're that rolling in dough.
yeah. Well, I just forget about it the moment I pay for it. And
That's the best way to spend money, by the way.
yeah. And so so I got a notice from a guy that his campaign was big enough, I guess, but it wasn't big enough to really go to all the trouble of everything he's having to go through for it. And he's
not fulfilling his
well,
what?
it's just that it can take such a long time. By the time you get around to it and you look at all that money you got wrapped up in all those little spots, all of a sudden you spend it all. And
well, yeah.
And you've got to say, this has got to become a product. I've got to find the money to get this printed now. And all of a sudden it becomes this big, huge hassle and drag on your happiness, basically.
There's a story in the Bible about that. It talks about a king that is gonna build a tower. He goes out and figures out how much it's gonna cost before he starts, so he doesn't look foolish if he runs out of money midway. I mean, that's a parable from the Bible.
What part of the Bible is that in?
I believe it's in Matthew.
Okay.
I think Jesus tells the story.
Jesus tells the story
about counting the cost, and it says, it says there's a king that goes out. If a king goes out to build a tower, he figures out how much it's going to cost him before he starts. I'm paraphrasing big time. He figures out how much.
See where this would make a very good sermon. Yeah.
So that because you don't want to look, and I think a lot of people. I'm not crowdfunding my comic. Of course, I have a publisher, so it's a little bit different, But
you never know. They may decide, hey, this is the business model we'll give a shot at.
If they do, it's all on them. I won't have. I will promote it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna run it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but they have employees.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I'll run it if I get all the money, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I think that oh, there you go. Firefox Pro looked it up. Oh, it's in Luke. Sorry, I think it may be in Matthew too. Also, not Matthew 2, but Matthew also. Okay. See, I'm glad I wasn't. I'm glad I didn't look foolish. Let them know. Don't let them know you won't notice.
Yeah. No, you're right. Ellis, you're right. Well, they won't single me out to not send mine to me.
Yeah. But
they'll end up, stiffing everybody if they stiff me.
I think there are a lot of crowdfunding people that do that. Not necessarily,
Oh, well, I couldn't get over it. There's a guy that is on regular TV all the time and is a host of a big radio audience in L.A. Should I even name him?
Sure, why not?
Brian Suits. He had a crowdfunding thing called "The Werewolf Stole My Cigarettes," and I think it was going to be some sort of big personal experience Afghanistan story he was going to tell, and as much off the cuff kind of stuff he does like this on the radio. He probably thought writing a book was going to be a little easier than it turned out to be. And all of a sudden that book just wasn't happening. And, and a lot of people, I guess, got refunds, but I didn't care,
So you didn't get a refund?
No, I never really tried, I don't think. But it just shows that there's guys out there that don't care how famous they are, that it becomes a little bit of a hassle, and it becomes work. They'll go ahead and stiff you.
Oh, sure.
And they may not be able to even control it in terms of it probably makes them as unhappy as it makes everybody that got stiffed. You know, they had big
Oh,
plans, big
no, no,
ideas.
no. I think they're perfectly happy to take your money and not deliver a
No,
product.
I don't think
You're
that. I don't think that
no,
makes
I
people
think
happy. I don't think that makes
no, I
people
think
happy.
there's some people that makes very happy.
Hmm.
I have a different view of human nature than you. I don't
Well,
think it would make
I've
you
recently
happy.
read that book, The War of Art, and I didn't check the tape on that, whether I said it right or not. But
It is war. You
referring
said it
to
wrong. You said it wrong last time, but
the
it is
last
war of
time.
art. Yes, you said it right
Hmm.
this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, you read the book?
I read the book, and I'm listening to it as just like a follow on thing since I had both versions, and it's good because it's got one of my favorite narrators, George Guidall, and it's good to go over that material again because he's onto something there. You
Yeah.
only, as he makes the big point, if you want to get it done, turn pro, which all that means is sit down and start. It
Yep.
doesn't matter that it is perfect or anything like that. Just every day, sit down and start. And like he says, the angels all of a sudden are present with you. And that happened to me today. There was things I was writing, and I'm writing so slow. I'm writing 2 paragraphs a day practically. And, just because I get kind of fatigued with the look of it, but I'm there, I'm sitting there, I'm writing a little bit. And I wrote something and I realized it was leading me somewhere. And that was that muse, that
Oh yeah.
angel that came in and said, "What about this?" And it's like, yeah, let's do that. It was a scene where a girl is sitting on a guy's lap, showing him some stuff, and he gets mad
Wait.
at
Let's
something,
define stuff.
showing him some sketches of
Oh.
the tattoo she's got planned for him.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
tattoo. It's a tattoo that doesn't exactly light his fire, but he's not angry with her. He's angry at the fact he's deaf, and so when he reaches up to take his hearing aid from himself and throws it into what's left of his breakfast, he accidentally slaps her hard enough to make it a blow, and that just came out as like, wow, where did I get that? That is excellent. That keeps everything at a much higher pitch. It goes from a lovey-dovey scene to all of a sudden now tempers will flare, and it's like
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. That I did that accidentally. It wasn't accidental. I was sitting there thinking about it. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Because
talking
you're a
about.
pro.
Because I'm a pro, I'm sitting there and letting it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It is funny how that kind of stuff happens,
Hmm.
where you just feel like, whoa. I,
How did I
I
do that?
yeah. How did I ever draw that, or how did I ever write that, or how did I ever, you know?
Yeah. A guy can be so impressed about stuff that came from him that part of it was just allowing it to cook up a little bit. I went and going pro, sitting down and starting. That's the
I had a
hardest thing. Go ahead.
I had a conversation today with a couple of my sculptors, and we were talking about how, if you think about my job, and I know a lot of people don't know exactly what I do, but I work at a place that manufactures awards, like big trophies, like NASCAR trophies, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
We manufacture the Heisman Trophy. Okay, big company, lots of employees, and I manage a group of about a dozen artists and various types of craftsmen, machinists, and sculptors. Recently, I became head of the sculpting department. Anyway, so I was talking to them. We were talking about the idea that we're all hired to come in and clock in and be creative,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
and I said, what's funny is I know people that will tell me I can't be creative unless, I have to, and it's like, but when that's your job, you know,
Yeah.
and I think part of it is obviously there's money, there's an order, there's a deadline, you have to produce.
Right.
But I think also part of it is the more you do that, and I think he taught about that, the art of war, or the war of art.
Hmm.
I said it wrong. The idea, I think he taught about this idea that you have to, the more you sit down and call this forth or whatever, then the easier it becomes, until it becomes like second nature. You
Well,
know.
yeah, but he also talks about there is not a day that you aren't going to have to fight the same battle. That
Yeah.
the resistance is always going to be there. Like you say, you can get real habituated. It can become one of your favorite routines to, and that's what you really need to search for is the routines that will make you
Yeah.
crank it out. And but it's always going to be a struggle. There's always going
And,
to. He
and
talked. Go ahead.
and it always starts with sitting down. I mean,
Yeah.
or being in the work, whatever the workplace is, if it's
Hmm.
sitting or standing or whatever. Because I think too many people are too distracted,
Yeah.
with, and stuff will distract you. He talks about that too, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, he talks about the multitude of things that go to work on you. Family, people that, and I never have thought about this, but that people that uh, do things like have on their stereo super loud. They're trying to do something that everybody wants to do, which is get the attention and the praise just for being themselves in a very cheap way. They're getting attention, but it's
Yes.
like they don't deserve it. It's like, as a matter of fact, you resent feeding them any of the attention that they're craving.
Well, that's like people that do stuff to get likes on social
Yeah,
media.
sure, sure, yeah, yeah,
You
oh
know,
yeah,
that's and I think about that a lot. Like when I put,
clickbait.
because I'll put art on social media, and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Hmm.
Like I put this drawing here, and it's
Am
like,
I
well, why
weak?
did yeah, am I doing this? Is it
Is
vanity?
it pure? Yeah, no,
Is
no,
it pure?
yeah,
Yeah, well, and then the next question is, does it matter?
yeah, yeah. Well, no, it doesn't
I mean,
matter. Hey, look at that. You've already done 4 drawings. Look at that.
well, this one I did yesterday.
Okay, but
Yeah,
you whipped out a lot of stuff.
yeah, but it's
Yeah, I can tell you, it is something where you're always, studying the figure and everything, looking for, a formula. There you are. You're doing your Bridgman-esque kind of lay-ins and your big shapes.
you know what I discovered today.
What?
Here's what I'm going to reach up and grab a book. This was, I had this book, not this one. So this is my Dark Phoenix saga. Now this is the one that sits on my drawing table. This
Oh,
never leaves my house because it's signed by John Byrne and Chris Claremont. But I have
you.
another.
I think you gave me one of those. I think so. I could
I
read
think
it.
I think I did, and I think you gave it back to me
I
after you
think I
read
gave it
it.
back to you. It wasn't that
But
signed one, I guess.
no, 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 it wasn't the signed one. So I have this in my, and so I was looking through this, not this one, but a different one. And I was looking. Let me see if I can find some of the. So I was looking, and this is highly revered stuff, you
Hmm.
know, among comic stuff. And I was looking. Let me see if I can find. I can't find the exact page that I was looking at, but I was kind of just flipping through and looking at it. And if you look, let's see if you can see where I'm pointing.
So let me
There's
make you
not
big screen
okay.
if I can
Oh,
figure it
this is a
out.
good example. This is a good example right here. There is not a lot of anatomy here. Um, there's the big shapes, and this has some shading, but in terms of like all the muscles and stuff, no, there's not much of that here. There's a little bit there, but not much. And I'm like, you know,
No,
you kill yourself to try and learn all this stuff, and then you're like, there's not really much of it used there,
you got to
you know.
understand that Kirby is thought as well of as he is because he's got the energy. He's got the. It's not that he does great anatomy; it's that
Yeah,
the energy flows in a pose of Kirby's. His
yeah,
his little zinger kind of connecting across the volume. I just tried to do one here where it's like he does that, and it's like it doesn't necessarily even carve up the anatomy he's talking about. It's just that across the surface, he's
oh
got
yeah,
a little energetic note that says, "I want your eye to flow across this guy's leg or fist or whatever he's up to," you know.
yeah,
That's what he's about. He's almost entirely about the gesture of a drawing.
yeah. I don't think the John Byrne stuff. It's form, but it's not very. It's more form than anatomy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, no. He's going to get the volumes right. He's going to be very correct as a general rule on stuff like, uh,
Foreshortening.
oh, definite, yeah, foreshortening and proportions. Definitely, he's always going to have his proportions nailed. And he's like you say that
Yeah.
a big book of his stuff you
Oh yeah. The
gave
pencils.
him. Yeah, those pencils are just pretty amazing. I still haven't read that yet. I've got a couple other projects I want to read, and then I'm going to dig into that. I've
Oh
got
yeah.
I've got a couple of chess problem books. I'm going to see what that. Oh, you know what I started doing?
Of chess problems, like
Yeah,
playing chess,
because you know why? Because I
because
saw
of that show.
yeah, Queen's Gambit. Yeah, that's
Or
right.
do you play chess?
I know the moves, but
Uh oh.
I played the computer
Yeah.
uh, in a chess game,
Recently or
fairly recently in a chess game about a month ago, and it beat me in four moves.
oh
And
gosh.
it's like, now what did I do wrong? And it's like, it's just I don't know anything about chess really in terms of like defense or anything like that. I'm not thinking at all. I
Yeah.
do a move and then I look at the board. You know.
Those guys at work were playing chess, and they got so out of whack with it that I had to make them take the board home
They
because they
were,
would they come down there. The guy one of my guys that works upstairs would come downstairs and to play. And he'd come down for work, and he ended up doing a couple chess moves, and they'd play for 20 minutes. A
yeah.
delta, a bicep
You
here
can
and
get
there. Yep.
really obsessive about it. Yeah.
Well, they were on the clock. They should have been
Oh yeah, they
working. You
shouldn't
know,
have been playing. Yeah.
right. It reminded me. My uncle used to work at the Air Force base. He was a civilian working at the Air Force base, and they had a ping pong table. They played ping pong during lunch, and they ended up the whoever's in charge ended up making them get rid of it because
Oh yeah.
they'd play. You know, their lunch. They clock in and keep playing. You know, or they may got paid for lunch, but they were not not they were playing on the clock. You know.
Yeah, at Blue Sky, we had a game called Cyber Football. I think it was called.
Oh
That
yeah,
it was an old semi art. Was it an arcade game or
yeah.
not? It was.
I think that was an arcade
Yeah, it
game.
was an
It may have
arcade
been
game, but it was also something that the boss liked to play. And
oh yeah,
those guys would sit on that thing for an hour, 2 hours. They'd get totally
God,
lost in it.
yeah.
And digging it and yelling at each other. They came up with all kinds of bets to where it's like I remember one bet was like the loser had to paint their fingernails. I think was one of the
Oh yeah.
losses. Yeah,
What
yeah.
color did you paint them?
Something degrading they had to do that they had to lose if they lost.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's easy. I remember years ago when one of the versions of Microsoft had solitaire, and they at work now I was on an Apple, so I didn't have Solitaire, but the IT department ended up going around and taking off everybody's computer because they'd go
Sure.
by and everybody playing Solitaire.
Sure, sure, sure. Lot better than working. Yeah. No, that's part of the sitting down thing. You will find things to distract yourself.
Oh, I
Uh,
think social media is the worst.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh,
You know.
I spent so much time surfing the web while I was allegedly a game developer. I could have been
Oh yeah, well,
learning a lot of stuff and all that.
I've spent a now that I'm the boss, I've spent a little bit of money on Amazon
Sure, sure. Yeah,
or
you get on
Dick
there saying,
Blick or
yeah, right now, I need to replace uh,
yeah.
the
Oh
light bulb in my refrigerator. You know,
yeah.
it's like
Well,
I checked it out and it's like, hey, golly, $20. I didn't know those cost that much more as a light
the
bulb.
well, and what's bad is uh like I can't order it, but the purchasing department will order me stuff now. And
Uh huh.
when they put me over the sculpting department, made them so mad because they'd been trying to get like a power cord for they have an iPad they take pictures with of sculptures, and they're trying to get a power cord, and they've been trying for like 6 months, and they couldn't get one ordered. And so I'm like, well, give me the link. And they said, we found it on Amazon. We sent it to the purchasing person. They wouldn't order it. They never ordered it. And I had, and so I sent it. I sent the girl an email and said, hey, I'm over sculpting now. They need this. Can you order this for me? She goes, yep, it's done. It's ordered. We'll have it, whatever, in 2 days. And it aggravated them. But what I told them, I said, the thing was, what they didn't realize is the girl in purchasing had ordered some metals from a foundry in Rhode Island, and the
Mm-hmm.
guy was asking her all these technical questions, and she was so lost. So she called. She emailed me and said, "Can you call this guy?" And I called him, and I talked to him, and I talked to him about 5 times, and he was goofy as all get out. And I told her, I said, man, that guy, I don't know what his problem was. He does these every year. It shouldn't have been any issue. And she said, oh, he's like that every year. And I go, well, I'll talk to him from now on. And she was I told him, I said, I did her a favor. Of course she's going to order my stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that frustrated them to no end because they're like, well, we do favors for people. And I go, well,
Oh yeah.
do you,
If
you
you're
do
a
you ask?
buffer between somebody unpleasant
Oh,
and
yeah,
him, yeah, they'll really appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's
Well,
not
and
unpleasant. He's just a goof, huh? He's just somebody that's
he was kind
hard
of a
to.
goofball, and he was asking a lot of technical questions that she did not have the vocabulary or the ability to answer. I mean,
She didn't have the
it was my
nomenclature.
questions,
Hmm.
right? It was my area of expertise, and so she appreciated, and I think she appreciated, but it was one of those kind of things where it was a purchasing deal, so it was her responsibility, but it was my area. So
Hmm.
she appreciated me being the kind of like you said, the buffer.
Hmm.
But the but I was trying to explain to those guys, you know, because I said, well, this company's like the Godfather, like the Mafia and the Godfather. It's ran on favors. You do favors for people, and then they'll do favors for you.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we do favors for people all the time. And I go, well, you got to do it right.
Yeah.
There's a trick. I said, well, do you ask for favors back? And it's like, well, just kind of,
That's part of that book, Persuasion, or whatever it was that Scott Adams recommends so highly. And I read it, and I've got to go back through it because there is nothing more important than being persuasive. Bottom line, there's not much more. If you rub people the wrong way, you will get less out of
oh,
life.
oh, absolutely. There's no doubt. Here's here's what I've learned about life. And you take it with a grain of salt. But if people like you, you'll be way ahead. You do not do yourselves any favor by making enemies,
Yeah.
especially in an office setting. You know,
No.
and
Yeah, that's
and
true.
because people don't want to be the kind of person that people don't want to be around. You want to be
No,
somebody, and in fact, if you're the kind of you gotta if you got a little bit of a positive attitude, that will set you so far above most people, because most people, especially in a work situation, are just like, when is Friday? Get me out of here. And if you're like,
Mm-hmm.
if your attitude is, I got to be here, I'm going to get the most out of it. And I could be here and complain that it's not Friday, that I'm getting paid enough, that they're working me too hard, or I just be here and just be like, hey man, let's have a good time till it's time to go home, and then
Mm-hmm.
But people respond to that,
Mm-hmm.
and
No, absolutely.
I think that's, if you combine that with a little bit of ability, and at my work, what they really, and they told me this, what they really like is the people have grit.
Mm-hmm.
They want people that are tough, not necessarily tough like I'm gonna go fight, but tough like I will not give up. I'm not gonna crumble. Because my work's very deadline orientated, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's a
anything with a deadline is going to have a day where crunch day comes along, and everybody's dying and hating life. Yeah, for a
yep.
little
And
bit.
if you can get through something like that and inspire other people, you'll be ahead of the game.
Yeah,
But anyway,
and that's just about any kind of job. I hear about your typical Hollywood professional, and some of the horror stories of some of those specialist magazines of Cinema Fantastic and all that.
oh yeah,
And they, like Rob Bottin that did the effects for The Thing. It's like, oh wow, I envy that guy. He was like 20 years old, did that. You wouldn't envy his life during that period, because he nearly killed himself. Basically, he got very sick and everything like that. You do just go to such extremes to accomplish what is required from you on a pipeline on Hollywood, or you fail, which you don't want either. And it's a tough way to live. Uh, Being part of, it's like those guys. What was that called? That group of musicians that were the go-to people for
wrecking crew.
the wrecking crew. Yes, that's correct. And you
I
know,
only knew that because you told me that a long time ago.
and those guys were there, stayed there, but the moment they fell on their face, they wouldn't be there, and they never
Yep.
fell on their face though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was hearing the old Aqualung. Someone posted something in Twitter, and I was listening to that great guitar solo in Aqualung. Then I turned to somebody else playing it. That's a big part of what YouTube is people saying, "Listen to me play the piano. This favorite Scott Joplin song of yours," and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you be the next YouTube sensation.
Yeah, you can be. Yeah, yeah. Chocolate Rain back in the day of you remember
Chocolate
that?
brain. What? No.
Chocolate Rain. You don't remember that
No.
viral?
I don't know about chocolate
Some
rain.
kid with a really nice bass voice had his own composition of Chocolate Rain,
Is that a
and
song?
yeah, you
I
don't
mean,
look it up.
was it a song before you got hold of it?
It was no, it was his composition.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what
So it was
was
an original
made it
song about chocolate.
doubly rewarding. Was it was his song, and it just went crazy for a while. Yeah.
This is not the porn thing that I'm getting ready to look up.
No, no, no. If you do,
Okay, I'll write it down. Look it up later.
that's like that joke I posted the other day. Priest goes into the hotel and tells the receptionist, "I assume the porn channel is disabled." And she says, "No, it's regular porn, you sicko."
Nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
you like that joke? I got
No,
that from that John Sanford, does the Virgil Flowers mystery stories. I've got a new one of his. It's called Heat Lightning. So I'll be reading that.
Oh yeah,
Or listening to it, rather.
I've been
Now,
listening
did you see this comment from Topler sometime back? He's probably not even listening.
Yeah,
right now.
I chose to ignore it. Yeah.
Never my favorite. He wasn't exciting. Of course, that's the point, is that you want to be exciting if you're a comic book artist.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't Kirby. That's uh-oh. Can you hear me? Oh,
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you still hang on? My headphones died. Let me switch earpieces.
Okay.
This will happen off camera.
Okay. Yeah, I informed these guys about some really bad stuff. You know, you can find so many perfectly wonderfully awful things on Amazon Prime that
yes.
Yeah. I found one that was called itself a feature film. So I said, what is this? This is kind of interesting looking. And it's called Fanfare for a Death Scene. I said, wow, look at that. Mid 60s. Oh yeah, mid 60s. Let's check this out. And it turned out to be a failed pilot by Leslie Stevens. Leslie Stevens, I think is his name. And he's a producer known for like Twilight, Outer Limits, and a couple other TV shows, sci-fi. And it was right there at the James Bond peak madness craze, and they were trying to do their own version of a secret agent. Oh man, it's such a misfire. It is so much fun on that level of look at everything that's wrong with this, you know.
Is it hours?
What's that?
How long is it?
It's a little over an hour, not much more than an hour.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Fanfare for a Death Scene. It's got the guy that played the Penguin in the old Batman. He's also in the Mice and Men. He's a great actor. Oh, he's in Rocky.
Burgess Meredith.
Burgess Meredith. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
You think about what makes a great actor, and it's that thing of like his being so immersed in something. That's the way you think of him. You know, it's like he was the Penguin. He was Rocky's coach, whatever his name was.
What was his
name?
I don't remember.
But he was the guy that lost his glasses in Twilight Zone. You know, you remember all his parts. And of course,
world.
Yeah, I got all the time in the world. And of course, he did a great of Mice and Men with Lon Chaney Jr. Oh man, that was a great one. Never saw that one.
Never saw it. Never read it either.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I need to read it someday. That is definitely a missing.
Is it a John Steinbeck book?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
it's one that the Burbank Library has decided that because it doesn't have acceptable modern versions of black people in it, they've decided to ban it along with Mockingbird and Huckleberry Finn. Not Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah.
Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
A book I've never read.
Yeah, I've never read it, but I love that movie. Yeah, that's what's his name? Piper Laurie, something. Piper Lee, I think. And something or other Lee.
Harper Lee.
Harper Lee, yeah. Big friend of Truman Capote's. As a matter of fact, I think she went with him during his research for In Cold Blood.
Tried to watch Pirates, didn't make it through. That's what Topher said.
Oh, to Pirates. Oh, you didn't. You're talking about the Roman Polanski Pirates, correct?
Probably. I'm assuming
Yeah,
you
I think
don't.
I gave a big recommendation to it. Yeah, he, Polanski gets kind of gross, and people can like lose him because of that. They'll exit because he'll be doing something like, "Oh, won't this be funny if we have a big enema scene?" And it's like, okay, okay. You've seen Fearless Vampire Killers. I remember when you rented that.
Yeah, I don't think I
And
made it.
it's got its gross moments.
I just didn't think it was that. I was like, this is not. It wasn't funny, and it wasn't. I didn't think it was that entertaining. It's like I don't know what this is. You know,
Why this has got that rep?
yeah,
Well,
this is a good movie. Why am I
yeah, yeah,
watching? That's what I didn't know.
yeah, yeah. You've got to have a little bit of a bendy aesthetics on liking Polanski. I think it's he. Well, no. I mean, he's a great movie maker. Yeah, one of my picks. Yeah, it says TBH. What does that mean? Oh, you have never seen any Roman Polanski movies. Wow, Roman Polanski. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I've seen of his. What's he done? He did a lot of stuff after
Oh
he left.
well, he's done Rosemary's Baby.
I
He
hadn't
did
seen that.
Chinatown. Everybody should see
Okay.
Chinatown, no matter what you feel about him on having sex with 14-year-olds. You should watch Chinatown anyway, and because that's a heck of a movie.
Yeah, I agree. It's a heck of a movie.
Yeah, but whether you should watch it in light
Well,
of
I'm not agreeing on anything that you said about or disagree. I'm not commenting on anything you said about 14-year-old
yeah,
girls.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, if that bothers you too much to ever, I
Then you
understand it.
might
I
not watch.
understand it.
You want to know the truth of it.
What's that?
You probably shouldn't watch any movies then. There's probably
Oh yeah, yeah. The idea of going after young young sex partners is kind of an old happening. I think there's a lot of biblical tales about it too. So it's been around a while.
that's a Hollywood tradition.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean Elizabeth Taylor coming in with her pet squirrel to some famous producer. I think it's Jack Warner, and he saw that squirrel disappear into her dress and made some sort of lewd comment about it.
And then there you go. She was a star.
There you go. Oh no, it's more like I wish I was that squirrel or something like that.
No, no, no. She became a
And she,
star after
yeah, yeah.
that. Sorry, I'm fumbling around here.
That's all right.
I'm trying to.
I'm just doodling away. I haven't been drawing at all lately. I've been trying to write, like I say, and looking for that muse versus this muse, and this muse has suffered for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. I was going
Those.
through the book, that Draw from Your Head book.
Hmm.
I'm working my way through some of that.
Oh, this is
Uh,
my reaction to pirates. Got a real pirate movie, Treasure Island, with the old Bobby Driscoll in it. Oh, and plus I saw something else with Bobby Driscoll. What was that recently? He was practically a baby, and it kind of freaked me out. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Song of the South. Song of the South.
oh, that's right. I sent the link to that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. And that was pretty cool, other than there is no good reason to worry about the racism in Song of the South in terms of like wondering why it's not around. It's just really not that good a movie. It's not their
Oh
best
yeah.
animation. It's not their best animation. It's not.
That's
It's
I've
nothing special. Is what its problem is.
I've wondered if it was that good of a movie because and I haven't seen it, by the way, so
Mhm.
I'm not going to comment. But it is interesting because I think the lead actor won an award from the NAACP when
Oh,
it came out.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Disney loved the guy. Thought he was one of the best natural actors he'd ever met.
And
And And he died, I think, like golly, a month within it coming out or something like that.
And it's interesting that they would bury that, and I've always kind of wondered if it was actually because it never seemed what I saw of it never looked that good, and so I've
No,
always
it's just a bunch of unnatural sweetness and cringiness based on that. It's like
that
I
is
think your mind just reels from the idea that anybody'd be that sweet on antebellum Reconstructionist Southern, you
maybe
know. And
kind of
anyway,
intellectual. It presented a very rosy view
yeah,
of
exactly. Yeah.
post.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, this is these black people's their everyday life. This is their slice of life, and that picture it presents of it isn't saying these people have got it bad or anything like that. But
right.
these,
Zippy
yeah.
doo doo. Everything's great down here.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I would have been trying to say that immediately after the Civil War
everything was
that
hunky.
yeah, it probably was hunky dory to the extent that people got back to their lives, and their lives were probably slightly like they were before they went into the war.
Yeah,
You don't reinvent yourself just because you came back from the war, and the idea that if these are people that used to be slaves and still around, well, people don't just like vanish. They
yeah.
they're going to be around there if they aren't. Hey,
But
Natasha International, what's up? I've been watching, but I was driving and getting pizza.
oh, that sounds funner than watching us. If it was a good,
James Baskett got an Academy Award for playing Uncle Remus
yeah. Oh, really?
for his able and heartwarming characterization of Uncle Remus, friend and storyteller to the children of the world in Walt
Oh,
Disney's Song of the South. Yeah,
and Ellis Goodson said too much sweetness.
yeah, it's
It's all
you know,
sweet, and Ellis ain't having any of it.
well, you know, it's it's
No, I
not
know.
it's definitely not film noir, but it's
Yeah, as I said, Pulp Fiction than
yeah.
Zippity Doo Dah or Bear Rabbit.
Well, that's the thing. I've only gone halfway through it thus far. I haven't seen all the movie, but thus far, right now, I'm underwhelmed with what I've seen of the animation. It's not animation that really lit my fire. Oh, you know what I did see that was? Did we talk about this last time? Maybe the Guy Ritchie version of uh,
I think, yeah.
the Arthur legend. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We did talk.
Arthur Legend of the Sword or something like that.
I don't know if we talked about it on the show. I think we talked about it through email.
Have you seen it?
No,
Yeah, yeah, it was through email. Yeah, yeah.
because Barry was talking about it.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And I think we all agreed it's worthwhile, you know.
I've seen it. You know what I've been watching lately? Because
What?
I've kind of got this routine where at about 10 o'clock I'll watch something on TV, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
overall watching it. But I usually like to have something to kind of watch, and I've been doing the elliptical lately, so I need something to watch while I'm on the elliptical.
Cool.
And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so I was watching Get Shorty. I think I told you that, and it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a show on Amazon Prime that I've been watching. I can't decide if I like it or not. But
Let's hear it.
it's called Animal Kingdom. Have you ever seen that?
No, ain't good. Can't decide whether
Yeah,
you like it or not.
I haven't decided, but it's about a guy about a high school kid lives with his mom, and his show starts off. He's in his apartment with his mom's apartment, and his mom is on the couch, and she's kind of out at. He's sitting on the couch watching some TV show, and you see paramedics come in the room, and they start working on his mom, and then you find out his mom has died. She's OD'd, and you see like drug paraphernalia on the counter and stuff.
How old is he?
High school age. He
Okay.
didn't drive. so he may be 15, he may be 16, but he doesn't drive. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so his this lady shows up, and it's Ellen Barkin,
Mm-hmm.
and it's she's his grandmother, and so she says, I know that I didn't get along with y'all, but I want you to come and spend some time with the family and stay with us, and so she takes him to her house. It's in California, and she lives. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where she lives, but it's a fairly nice house. It's not a big mansion. It's more like a bungalow kind of thing. She's got a
Mm-hmm.
pool in the back, and there's all these people out there, like a big pool party. And you learn that it's his uncles and some of their friends, and like at one point they're like doing drugs, and 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 basically what it is they're kind of like a crime family, kind of like you've seen Point Break, right?
Right.
It's like Point Break, kind of that
So they're
that
they're
group.
kind of like feasting off of the all the money that surrounds them. They're
Yes,
in. Okay.
they commit robberies, they commit crimes, and then when they're not doing crimes, they're skydiving, surfing,
Oh, it
motors.
sounds like it's directly inspired by Point Break. Yeah, yeah,
There's no Johnny Montana or whatever Keanu
yeah,
Reeves is,
yeah.
but
There's nobody underground or an insider or a mole or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, no one's trying to bring him down.
yeah.
But it's this kid. They bring him in the group, and it's kind of interesting. It reminds me kind of The Sopranos, but it's like the West Coast version.
Yeah,
You know. Anyway, you might check that out. You might like it.
I might like it. Yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't take long to get a hook in me if somebody's doing something right in storytelling. You will want the
Yeah.
next part of the story.
Well, I've only seen 2 or 3 episodes, so I can't,
Hmm.
I'm not. You might, like I said, you might like it.
Like I say, Ozark, that got its hook in me eventually, but again, all these things end up being uneven. You go, oh man, they were just killing time with that one. You know, there's a
Well,
lot of that goes on like Lost and stuff like that. That you go, why did I ever commit to this show? That
it's
sort of stuff happens.
television.
What's that?
It's the nature of television
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's not all written by one person
yeah.
generally.
It's not all directed by the same person. Yeah, you're
Right.
right. You
So some of
everybody
them
a
are
lot of hats. Yeah. Oops.
right. So some of them are like, this is great, and some are like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
What happened? What happened?
Well, they didn't get. That wasn't directed by the creator. That was
Yeah. Yeah, he was taking a break. He was getting over his mental collapse during that period. Yeah,
yeah, middle class from working on this show for three
yeah,
years. It's
yeah.
it's amazing that Better Call Saul is as good as it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. As much downtime as
God, yeah. I hope they. I would get. I want more Gene.
Natasha International asked, "How the heck do you guys get used to a screen tablet?" Scott isn't. He's off of them. He won't let me talk him into getting an iPad to draw with. Uh,
If lines are jagged,
I'm pretty
I
jagged here.
you think
See,
there.
how'd you?
It could be. Is your document high enough resolution? I don't know what you're
And
working
what
in.
and what program are you using? I mean, I
Yeah,
recommend this Art Studio Pro. It's a lot of fun. It's got some great brushes in it, and it will depend. You need your resolution high, like Scott is saying. You need you need a couple of factors for making lines. You need to if you're pulling lines that you don't like.
are
And
you yeah,
the brilliant thing about this, is being able to turn this to where I'm like if I feel like pushing that line like that,
I can
it's
turn this.
yeah, exactly. It follows that ability that paper has. So it's like if I'm drawing at some awkward angle, that's on me because I can turn this anywhere I want it.
Well, if it's like if you're using like Clip Studio Pro, it has, I forget the term, but it has a it will smooth. It's like a smoothing where it'll
Yes.
smooth. Are your lines?
Oh, Clip Studio Pro. That's what she's using. Clip Studio
Yeah, you
with
can turn it off. I left it generally off. It, if there, when you say jagged, like if you draw a line, is it like I'm looking at it and it's got a like a sawtooth jagged, or are you just saying that the line you're drawing isn't coming out straight? If it's sawtooth jagged, that's probably a resolution issue. Either you're zooming in too much, or you need to watch your resolution. It may not be high enough. One of the reasons why I don't like drawing comics digitally is because I tended to zoom in way too much.
Yeah,
And
you don't want to over render, and you
oh
want to
god,
keep your
that,
line weights. Something like right now, I watch this. I mean, I've got a sable brush, and I'm getting all kinds of wacky line weights. But this is how wacky it could be if I really pressed on it.
I don't know what a
Yes,
Gauman tablet is.
I don't know what a
Remi-
Galman tablet is either.
If
But
it's
see how thick that would get. But having that thickness in reserve means that that's going to be a very lively line, and that's a very fun brush. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a sawtooth, it's a resolution thing. If it's just a
Yeah.
matter of the line is getting crooked on you, smoothing can help that. Clip Studio Pro, I don't think it's called smoothing. I think it's called something else, but it will auto correct jagged lines. Um, it,
What
it
is that
could
called?
it could be jitter in your tablet. I'm unfamiliar with that tablet. I would suggest reloading the driver and maybe looking around online if there are issues with the tablet in terms of people getting jitters.
Fine. Yeah, people with
If
the same complaint. Yeah.
actually a jitter in the line versus a sawtooth line where like when you zoom in it's got a sawtooth. That's a resolution thing, and that's actually not bad if you're doing the right resolution, because what that means is it means you don't have anti-aliasing on, which you do not want, even though Ellis thinks you do.
I'll have to do a. Like I say, I keep threatening to do a essay on that. Someday I will, and so that it will invite all the comments, and we'll hear it out to the nth degree someday.
Because you think you should have anti-aliasing on, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
for scanning pencils, yes, yeah. For,
No, for line work, black and white line work.
well, this has got whatever is natural to its brush, and it's fairly clean. But I'm sure let's get up close. Yeah, this has got anti-aliasing on it. Yes,
Yeah, see, so you have a fuzzy edge.
when you get close enough to it, it is indeed fuzzy.
Yeah, see that's not good for printing.
Well, if it gets printed, it's what it is. I mean, this could go to the printer as the
Sure.
line work.
Sure.
You're talking about line work that is maximized for the process of the doing color fills by a
Yes.
really good colorist. Yes,
Yeah.
you want nice breaks with your really good colors and all that. But
Right.
that's not
Oh,
necessarily the only look a guy can find himself living with.
right, but it's
When your colorist goes a little nuts and decides to be do a whole lot of color ramps and everything like that, he to me he's completely thrown that concept out the window. It's like, well, there you go. You've gradated all this stuff. You tried to turn it into a painting when it was a line drawing. What was the point of having my anti-aliased artwork given to you?
right. Yeah, it should have been aliased.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's like,
no, but no,
well, or my aliased or whatever.
but
But
here's
the point. Go ahead.
here's the thing. The artwork, my finished artwork, is a black and white file. It's not a gray
Hmm.
file. It's not a gray tone.
But you've done that for your colorist. Sawtooth. Yep, Sawtooth is what she's talking about.
Oh yeah, I think Sawtooth is probably. I don't know if the Gammon tablet is the tablet. I don't know. I don't know if it's like a drawing tablet and you draw and it's connected to your computer, or it's a like an iPad device where it's actually has the processor. But that
Sounds like a Wacom tablet.
if it's Sawtooth, if you're at the right resolution, okay. So if it's Sawtooth, your image may be black and white, so you may have to adjust your image mode or change your image mode to a grayscale.
That might
And,
be a part of it. Yep.
and
RGB.
Anti-aliasing,
Mhm.
because that's what it's not doing. If or it may just, but if you're drawing it to print and you're drawing it at print size or larger and it's 400, actually 300 DPI, you're good to go even if it's Sawtooth.
Sure.
That's acceptable. That is the printing standards. But
hey, guess what?
what? Has it been an hour? God, it's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Yep.
Awesome.
You ready to wrap it up?
Okay, let me make this pitch real quick though.
Go ahead.
If you enjoy this, I am trying to build up my YouTube channel. So please take a second and go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't have to watch anything if you don't want to. If there's something that you want to watch, feel free to. But I'm trying to get my numbers up so that when my comic book comes out, I can do some online promotions and I want to do some live streams, not through StreamYard, but just through YouTube with maybe some art stuff. And so if anybody watching this would do that, I'd really appreciate it. And if you and I will reciprocate too, for sure.
Sure.
But anyway, if you do that, and it's Scott Space Sackett. Well, my iPad died, but you'll see a picture of me, and then there's like a drawing in the background. It's pretty easy.
I will add the link to this new web page, this new YouTube channel in our current links, and that will become part of the regular file for our links.
I'd appreciate you adding it. I'd appreciate anybody that would be willing to subscribe. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Anyway,
no. Mike Miller, Doug, all these guys that have that extra little oomph of having a channel that they feed constantly enough. That's the smart way to be if you're going to be in this gig at all. Go ahead and meet your audience. Say hi.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I would love to have the ability to be able to fire up my phone and just do a live video, while it's drawing. I mean, I guess I could do it through StreamYard, but
you could do it that way, or like you say, you can just fire up YouTube and do it.
Yeah. Well,
Flyfox Pro says this hour always goes so fast. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I guess that means somebody had a good time. All right.
I do appreciate it.
Well, guys, I guess that's it. I'm ending right about now. Is that all right, Scott?
Works for me. Thank you, Ellis.
Okay, well, let me end it.